My girlfriend started going to a women's support group every Thursday evening. This came out of nowhere. We had been together for 4 years. She never mentioned needing support, never talked about therapy or groups or any kind of counseling. Then one Tuesday in September, she announced she found a women's group that met weekly. Personal growth, empowerment, building better communication skills. Thursdays at 7. Would be home by 9:30. If you enjoy real relationship stories, hit subscribe. I thought it was great. Personal growth is important. She seemed excited about it, said some friends recommended it, that she wanted to work on herself. The first Thursday she left around 6:30, came back at 9:45 glowing, energy radiating off her. She looked more alive than I had seen her in months. I asked how it went. She launched into enthusiasm about how incredible the session was, how eye-opening, how this was exactly what she needed right now in her life. I asked what they discussed specifically. She kept it vague. Just women's issues, she said. Communication patterns, relationship dynamics, personal boundaries. The kind of stuff all support groups cover, apparently. Fair enough. Those groups were confidential. I respected that. Did not push for details she was not comfortable sharing. The next few Thursdays followed the same pattern. She would start getting ready around 6. Shower. Spend time on her hair. Apply makeup carefully. Change outfits twice before settling on something. I noticed she wore her good jeans, the ones that fit perfectly. Nice sweaters. Boots instead of sneakers. I asked once why she dressed up for a support group. She laughed it off. Said she did not, that I was seeing things that were not there, that this was just her normal style. But it was not normal. I had lived with her for 3 years. On regular days, work days, weekend days, any other day, she wore leggings and hoodies, comfortable clothes, minimal makeup, hair in a ponytail. For those sessions, she wore outfits she usually saved for our date nights, for dinners out, for special occasions. After about 6 weeks, I noticed something else that bothered me. She started being secretive about her phone on Thursdays specifically. Would check it constantly starting around 5. Would smile at messages she received. Would type responses quickly with this little grin on her face. Then delete the entire text thread immediately after sending. I asked once who she was texting. She said just confirming details with the group facilitator. Making sure she had the right time. Normal coordination stuff. But why delete the messages if they were just logistics? One Thursday in late October, I pressed her where exactly the group met. She seemed caught off guard, stammered that it was at a community center, downtown, near the library. I pushed for details which one. There were 3 community centers downtown. She said she could not remember the exact name. The one on 5th Street, maybe. Or 6th. She always just followed her navigation app. That seemed odd. After 2 months of going weekly, she did not know the name of the place. I let it go, but something felt wrong. The next week, she left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. I was making coffee when I noticed her calendar was pulled up. There was the Thursday appointment, 7 in the evening, but there was an address. Not a community center, a residential address in the suburbs, 30 minutes outside the city. I stared at that address for a long time. Why would a women's support group meet at someone's house that far away? Why would she lie about it being downtown? I grabbed my phone, searched the address on Google Maps. A single-family home, nice neighborhood, quiet street. Street view showed a modern 2-story house, well-maintained, nothing indicating it was used for group meetings. I felt sick. That evening, waited until she left. Gave her 15 minutes head start. Then I got in my car and drove to that address. Traffic was light. Got there in 25 minutes. Found the house easily. Lights on inside. 1 car in the driveway. Her car. I parked down the street. Sat there debating what to do. Maybe it really was a support group. Maybe the facilitator hosted it at home. Maybe there were other women inside, I just could not see their cars. I waited. 7:15. No other cars arrived. 7:30. Still nothing. At 7:45, I got out of my car, walked up the quiet street, approached the house carefully. Through the front window, I could see into the living room. Warm lighting from table lamps, comfortable furniture, bookshelves lining one wall, plants in the corners, homey, intimate. Two people sitting on a couch, my girlfriend, and a man. Just the two of them. No other women, no group, no circle of chairs, no facilitator leading a discussion. They were sitting close to each other, angled toward each other. She had her legs tucked under her in that way she does when she is comfortable somewhere. He had a notebook in his lap. She was talking animatedly, gesturing with her hands the way she does when she's excited about something. He was nodding along, smiling, writing things down in the notebook. This was not a support group. This was a private session, a one-on-one session, with a man, in his home. I moved closer to the window, staying in the shadows, trying to see better without being seen. The man looked familiar somehow. Tall frame, dark hair, black glasses. He was wearing a button-down shirt, sleeves rolled up, professional but casual. Then he looked up at something she said, laughed, really laughed, threw his head back. I saw his face clearly. Recognition hit me like a truck. Eric, her ex-boyfriend from college. They dated for 3 years. Serious relationship. Lived together their senior year, talked about marriage. Then he got accepted to a psychology doctoral program across the country. She did not want to move. They broke up. That was 6 years ago. She said they lost touch completely after the breakup. Said it was too painful to stay in contact. Said they went their separate ways. Apparently, that was not true. Apparently, they were in very close contact, every Thursday, for 2 months, in his house, alone. I stood there watching them. My girlfriend, who supposedly attended a women's support group, was having private sessions with her ex-boyfriend, in his house, alone, each Thursday for 2 months. She laughed at something he said, touched his arm. That casual touch she used to give only me. He put his hand over hers, left it there. They sat like that for a moment, looking at each other. I felt rage building. Walked to the front door, knocked hard, movement inside. Voices. The door opened. Eric stood there. Recognition flashed across his face. Then concern. He said my name, asked what I was doing there. I didn't let it go and asked where my girlfriend was. He hesitated. Started to say something about privacy and boundaries. I pushed past him into the house. Lisa was standing in the living room. Face completely white. Eyes wide. I demanded to know what this was. She stammered. Started to explain. Eric was a life coach now. She was doing personal development work. It was all professional. I demanded to know why she lied, why she said it was a women's support group at a community center downtown. She looked at Eric. He looked at her. Some silent communication passed between them. I wanted to know how long this had been going on. She admitted 2 months, 8 sessions, each Thursday. I demanded to know why Eric, why her ex-boyfriend. There were thousands of life coaches in the city. Why him? She claimed he reached out a few months ago, on social media. Mentioned he was doing coaching now. She was going through some stuff. He offered to help. She said yes. I demanded to know what stuff she was going through. She got defensive, said it was personal, private, between her and her coach. I reminded her that her coach was her ex-boyfriend, that private sessions alone with an ex was not therapy. It was something else. Eric interrupted. Said everything was completely professional. He was certified. This was legitimate coaching. Nothing inappropriate happened. I demanded an answer and asked to see his certifications. He looked uncomfortable. Admitted he was still working on his official certification, but he had the training, the knowledge. He knew what he was doing. I laughed, told him he was not a real coach. He was her ex-boyfriend pretending to be a coach so he could spend time alone with her. Lisa defended him immediately, insisted he helped her. The sessions were valuable. She was growing, learning things about herself. I demanded to know what she learned. She said she learned she had been settling, that she ignored her real feelings for too long, that sometimes your past holds answers about your future. The words hit me like a punch. I asked whether Eric was teaching her that. She looked at the floor, whispered that Eric helped her see things clearly, helped her understand what she really wanted. I demanded to know what she wanted. She started crying, said she did not know, that she was confused, that being around Eric again brought up old feelings, made her question everything. I asked whether anything physical happened. She swore no. Just talking, just coaching sessions, nothing more. I looked at Eric, asked if he still had feelings for her. He met my eyes, said he cared about her, always had. When she reached out, he saw an opportunity to reconnect. The coaching was real, but yes, he hoped it might lead to more. I kept pushing and asked Lisa if she knew that. She nodded slowly, admitted they talked about it, about their past, about whether they made a mistake breaking up, about whether they could try again. I wanted to know when these conversations happened about their past and potential future, she whispered during the sessions, mixed in with the coaching questions. He would ask about her current relationship with me as part of the work. She would share her doubts, her frustrations, the ways we were not connecting lately. He would validate those feelings. Tell her those doubts were important signals, that she deserved someone who understood her on a deeper level, someone who saw her the way he always did. I felt sick listening to this. I wanted to know how many times they discussed getting back together. She admitted it came up almost every session. Started small at first. Comments about how good they were together, how compatible, how they understood each other in ways other people did not. Then it evolved into direct questions. What if they had not broken up? What if they tried again now as more mature people? What if she was with the wrong person? I looked at Eric, asked if this was standard coaching practice, convincing your clients to leave their partners. He had the decency to look uncomfortable. Started explaining that his role was to help her explore her authentic feelings. If those feelings led her to question her relationship that was important data, he was just holding space for her truth. I called it manipulation. Told him he used the framework of coaching to insert himself back into her life, to make her doubt me, to position himself as the better option. Lisa opened her mouth to defend him again. I held up a hand. I did not need another speech about growth or clarity. I needed honesty. Even her excuses sounded like his talking points. I told Lisa we were done. She panicked, begged me to understand, said nothing happened. They were just talking. She was just confused. I said 2 months of lying was not confusion. 2 months of private sessions with her ex was not personal growth. It was an emotional affair disguised as therapy. She insisted it was not like that. I asked whether she loved Eric. She cried harder, said she did not know. Maybe she never stopped. Being around him reminded her of who she was back then, made her feel understood. I asked whether she loved me. She said yes, but differently. Not the same way. Not with the same intensity. That was all I needed to hear. I told her to stay here with Eric, figure out what she wanted, but do it without me waiting around. She grabbed my arm, begged me not to leave. We could work through this. She would stop the sessions, never see Eric again. I pulled away, reminded her she said that while standing in his house after lying to me for 2 months. I walked out, got in my car, drove home. She called 20 times. I did not answer. Texted saying we needed to talk, that I was overreacting, that nothing happened. I blocked her number. Eric sent an email the next day, long explanation about how coaching works, how he never crossed professional boundaries, how Lisa was an adult making her own choices. I deleted it. Lisa showed up at the apartment 3 days later. I had already packed her things, left them in the hallway. She cried when she saw them, asked if I was really doing this. I said she did this. She chose to lie, chose to see her ex every week, chose to develop feelings while I thought she was working on herself. She insisted she wanted to work on us, that she would do anything. I asked whether she still had feelings for Eric. She could not answer. I told her that was answer enough, handed her the bags, closed the door. That was 4 months ago. I heard through mutual friends that Lisa and Eric tried dating. Lasted 6 weeks. Apparently, the reality of being together did not match the fantasy they built during those coaching sessions. She reached out twice trying to reconcile. I never responded. I am doing better now. Started actual therapy with an actual licensed therapist, a woman in her 60s with no connection to my past. She helped me see how Lisa manipulated the situation, used the guise of self-improvement to justify spending time with her ex, gaslit me when I noticed her Thursday outfit choices, lied repeatedly about where she was going. I am dating someone new. We have been together for 2 months. She asked about my last relationship. I told her my ex pretended to go to a support group but was really having private sessions with her ex-boyfriend. She was horrified, asked how long I let that continue. I admitted too long. Should have trusted my instincts when things felt off. Should have asked more questions. She said, at least I learned what to watch for. I agreed. I will never ignore red flags again. Will never accept vague answers about where someone is going. Will never let someone gaslight me into thinking I am paranoid for noticing changes. Sometimes I think about that Thursday night, standing outside Eric's house, watching them through the window, how my stomach dropped when I recognized him. I am glad I went there. Glad I saw the truth. Glad I did not spend more months being lied to. Some people said I should have given Lisa another chance, that nothing physical happened, that emotional affairs can be worked through. But I disagree. She chose to lie every single Thursday for 2 months, chose to get dressed up for another man, chose to share her deepest thoughts with her ex instead of with me, chose to explore her feelings for him while I sat at home trusting her. Those were choices, and I made mine. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe.